This video is about Ethernet configurations of Commando Marshall C3500 series routing switches. So let's start. So after getting access of the switch, you will get this prompt. Configure terminal. Go to any of the interface. Let us say I want to go to interface ETH-0-9, and you can see there are various commands available in this. So basically this interface can be configured for speed duplex, and we can make it administratively up by giving no shutdown command. So this will be up, and if I give shutdown command, it will be disabled or administratively down. So this commando supports combo ports also, which can enable copper or fiber, two modes of operations at the same time. So configuration of speed or duplex at combo port cannot be effective when combo port working in a fiber mode. So fiber generally has a duplex full. So this commando switch is having a interface name format like Ethernet ETH. So I will have this format for this interface ETH, then slot number. So slot 0 means single pizza box switch. If stacking is enabled, the slot number will be increased from 0, 1, 2, 3 like that according to the configurations. And next is the port number. So I can have the port number 1 to 26 can be configured for this switch. So if I go to this 9, I can have the no shutdown and shutdown commands, and I can verify the interface by giving the command show interface status. So I will get the interface status with this command. So 9. So for this port, the duplex is full and speed is 1 Gbps, mode is access mode, and type is fiber. So this way I can get. I can also configure the speed or change the speed. Let us say I want to change the speed of this port to from auto duplex to and speed auto to the desired speed of, let us say, 100 Mbps. So for that, configure terminal, interface ETH-0-1, and I just give the command speed 100. So it will make it 100 Mbps. So this is a fiber switch, so this will not accept, as I have already told you. We can have the speed auto. So you can set these speeds, but for fiber you have to make it as a auto. So speed auto we can have. We can have the interface 3 duplex modes of operation like full duplex, half duplex, and auto mode. So full duplex interface can transmit and receive the packet at the same time. Half duplex mode can transmit or receive packet one at a time, and auto mode should negotiate to the other side and decide the duplex mode. So this is the logic. So I can have the duplex command and I can set the duplex mode. So auto, full, and half. So show interface status will show all these commands. So before going for configuring the L3 interface, let us create a VLAN L3 interface. So interface VLAN 1, and I can give the IP address, desired IP address 192.168.0.1/24 subnet mask. So there are three types of layer 3 interfaces that are supported. One is VLAN interfaces, which logical interface with layer 3 features which connect to different VLAN via IP address on the VLAN interface. VLAN interface can be created or deleted, except we cannot delete VLAN 1. Routed ports are the physical port configured to be in the layer 3. So For that you have to go to any of the interface. Let us say interface ETH-0-1, and if I say no switch port, I will make it as a routed interface, and I can provide the IP address whatever I desire. Let us say 10.1.1.1/24. So this way I can easily make it a routed port or a layer 3 port. We can also have the link aggregation ports. So these routed ports, link aggregation interface made up of routed ports. In layer 3 switch like this can have the IP address assigned to the each of the port or the VLAN interface, and all layer 3 interface require IP address to route the traffic. So I can see the interface status, show IP interface brief will show the interface which we have created and the status of those interfaces. We can have we can create VLANs also as per our choice. Let us say I want to create VLAN 10. For that, configure terminal, VLAN 10. So this way I can create the VLAN, or I can have the VLAN database and can create VLAN 10. So this is another way to create same VLAN I want to create. We can also create a switch port mode trunk. So I can make any interfaces. So let us say I want to configure INT ETH-0-1. So there are these modes, switch port mode, which I can assign like access, DOT, 1Q, tunnel, private VLAN or trunk. So I can make it as access port to be the members of VLAN. I can make it trunk, or I can have a tunnel. So switch port mode, I want to make it trunk. So I will remove that switch port mode access. I have given the IP address to that, so I have to remove all these things, and then only I will get this switch port mode trunk command configured. So this care should be taken after making layer 3. To make it layer 2, you have to use, for making layer 3 we are using no switch port command. For making layer 2 we have to first go for the switch port command. We can also allow some VLAN or disallow some VLAN, or if I want to allow switch port trunk, allow or disallow, whatever you want, VLAN all. So all VLAN will be allowed, and you can see the show IP interface brief to see all this status, or show IP interface will also show you this. We can also configure the interface error disable mechanism to protect the port or the switch through shutdown for abnormal states. If the interface enters in the error disable state, there are two ways to recover from the error disable state. The first one is to enable error disable recovery. For the reason before error disable detection, the interface will be recovered automatically after the configured time if we are having the recovery procedure. But if the error disable occur and nothing is set, then you have to have using no shutdown command to get interface up from the error disable state. So let us say we want to configure error detection for leak flapping. So for that, configure terminal and then error disable, detect, link, error disable detect reason, let us say link flap. So for that link flap reason we will have this. So if I say show error disable detect So it will show the detection reason. So the enabled things will be shown, what it is enabled for. Recovery. So let us say I want to set the recovery interval. Otherwise, if something goes wrong with that port, if I am not mentioned, then I have to give the command no shutdown to make it up. So for not doing that, I have using the recovery interval command, so it will be automatically recovered. So error disable, configure terminal. Error disable recovery interval, let us say I want to have 30. So I can verify this configured thing with show error disable, exit, show error disable recovery. So now I have set this time error disable recovery to 30 seconds. We can also set the link flap conditions, like we can have the waiting time and other things configured. We can configure the MAC address. So MAC address is very important. Show MAC address manage table. This is a very important information switch can have. So this is the information where we are learning this much MACs. So these MACs which are learned are dynamic. As you can see, type is dynamic. So we can have the static addresses as per manually added by the administrator, and these dynamic addresses are learned by the switch and will be aged after aging time, or if this address is not a hit. So this commando switch are having IVL and SVL configured. So IVL is a independent VLAN learning and SVL is a shared VLAN learning features. We can also have the static add MAC addresses by manually adding it. So let us configure the aging time for the MAC address table. So for that, configure terminal, MAC address table aging time, let us say 10. So in every 10 seconds the MAC address table will be revised or refreshed. Show MAC address table aging time. So this will show the MAC address table aging time is now changed to 10 seconds. We can set the static MAC address by giving the command configure terminal, and let us say MAC address table. So manually we are adding, let us say 0000.1234.5678 forward on ETH -0-1 VLAN 1. So this way we can add, if I say show MAC address table, so this static entry will be appearing there. So we can add such entries. We can have the multicast MAC addresses also. So for that we have to use the MAC address table. So configure terminal, MAC address table. Let us say I want to have the multicast address like 0100.0000.0000 forward on ETH-0-1 and VLAN 1. So I can configure like that, and show MAC address table will show all these entry, static entry also. We can add the unicast address, we can discard some addresses as per our choice. So VLAN is a virtual local area network, is a logical grouping of hosts which separates the broadcast domain so that packets are only switched between the ports that are designed to be in the same VLAN. Each VLAN is considered as a logical network, and the packets sent to the station that do not belong to the same VLAN must be forwarded through the layer 3 routing table, or layer 3 should allow that. So we can have the trunk link, which both tags and untagged frame can be transmitted on this link. Trunk allows multiple VLANs to cross the link, and we can have the access links. Only untagged frames can be transmitted on this link. Access link is at the edge of the network where the end stations or end users attaches. So access port can only receive the untagged or priority tag frame and transmit untagged frames. So for that, let us say I create a VLAN 2 and I will make the Ethernet 01 to be the members of VLAN 2. Let's do that. Configure terminal, VLAN database, VLAN 2, and I am created VLAN 2, then interface ETH-0-1, and I will say switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 2. So this way we can assign the ports to the particular VLANs. So to verify it or check it, show interface switch port ETH interface ETH-0-1. So this will show the default VLAN and the configured VLAN. We can also see the show VLAN brief will show each and every port and assign VLANs. Show VLAN brief. So this will show VLAN 2 which is having a member of port ETH-0-1. So this way you can configure it. You can also configure the trunk port which received tag, untagged and priority tag frames. So for that we can have the native VLAN. Let us say for the same port, configure terminal, switch port, interface ETH-0-1, switch port mode trunk, and switch port trunk native VLAN 2. Native VLAN 2. You switch port mode access also can be used to bind the port, and we can make any port as a access port, trunk port, layer 3 port, tunnel, whatever we like to have. We can also configure the voice VLANs which will improve the voice traffic deliverability in entire network. So voice traffic require high priority to improve the performance and reduce the packet losses and improve the MOS of the entire network. And this is a traditional method of improving the quality of voice traffic in the network. So voice VLAN feature can identify voice packet by a source MAC address, which makes the configuration more convenient. So you can make any VLAN as a voice VLAN, and you can define the voice VLAN cost to whatever value you want to have. 7 is the highest cost you can define to. So let's say for VLAN 2 I want to set the cost. So for that, configure terminal and go to a global configuration mode, voice VLAN, set cost 627. So this way I can select, and we can say create a voice VLAN 2. So this is a very simple straightforward way. We can also define the voice VLAN MAC address also, and we can give any of the MAC address. Let us say 0055.0000.0000, and after this we can have to give the mask. Let us say FFFF.FF00.0000, and we can give the description. So let us say commando. So this way we can create the MAC entry for the voice VLAN. We can also enable the voice VLAN inside the interface by giving the command interface ETH-0-1, and just give the command voice VLAN enable, voice VLAN enable, to enable the voice VLAN on this port. We can have the VLAN classifications like MAC based, IP based, protocol based. So MAC based VLAN classification rule will classify packet to the or the frames to the VLAN according to the source MAC address of incoming packet or frame. IP based VLAN classification rule classify the packet according to the source IP of the incoming packets, and protocol based VLAN classification rule will classify the segments according to the port numbers or layer 3 type incoming packets. So following lot of types of L3 packets are supported: ARP, IPv4, MPLS, MCAST, RARP, PPOE. Different type of VLAN classification rules can be added to the same VLAN classification group. So VLAN classification group can only be applied on the switch port. Only one type of VLAN classification can take effect on the switch port. So we can create the VLAN and we can have the VLAN classifier rule. So VLAN classifier, we can also create the group also. Rule 1 for MAC address, let us say 1111.1111.1111, and I want this VLAN 2. So MAC addresses, we have to give the proper MAC address to create a classifier rule, classifiers, and similarly we can have the groups also created. So show VLAN classifier rule will show these classifying rules, and we can apply this VLAN classification or the groups to the VLAN mappings accordingly. So there are a lot of configurations. We can have the tunneling also with this switch. We can have the EVCs and DOT 1Q map VLANs with this switch. So one small example I will take to quickly round up the things. Let us say I want to ping to 8.8.8.8. One of my interfaces is connected to VLAN. One of my interface is connected to the internet. So if I want to ping to, let us say, commandonetworks.com, so for that I have given a DNS, any DNS IP address, and I can find out the way it is pinging. I can trace route also with the help of these interfaces. Let us say 192.168.0.100. I want to have the trace route. I can also trace route any of the IP addresses or any of the, so this will be tracing each and every component to reach that network. So trace route and ping. apart from interface configuration, which we have done, are very important commands in any of the networking scenario. So this way, this switch is very much familiar and similar to the standard CLI available with the top brand switches. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.